Hello everyone. Hello. We are finally almost done with our granny square series, and I for one am very excited to get rid of all these granny squares that I have laying around. But today, as you can see, we are doing a steering wheel cover and a scarf, which are pretty much the same techniques because you're just making a giant line of granny squares. So we're going to start with the steering wheel cover. I have the granny squares back here, and you're going to need 9 of them. If you need to know how to make a granny square, I will put the video in right now, and if you don't, then you can skip to the timestamp that I put on the screen. Today I'm going to teach you how to make a granny square. I do mine with no magic ring and limited weaving in ends. I only have to weave in one end, so I want to teach you that way. Sorry for the angle. I would like to do it on a solid background, but we have to work with what we have, and that is this little girl. So first I'm going to make a slip knot. So you make a circle. The one that's on the top, you go underneath, and you're going to bring it through the circle. And now, don't mind my crochet hook. My husband homemade an ergonomic hook, and it looks very bad, but it does the trick. So we're going to chain 4. Now we're going to make a loop by doing a slip stitch into the first stitch. And we're going to find the center. We're going to chain 2. That will be our first double crochet. And then we are going to do 2 more double crochets into the center. Now we're going to chain 2, and as you can see this end, I'm going to just keep crocheting it into the center, if that makes sense. That way it wraps around and it's kind of weaving it in as we go. So chain 2, and instead of going on the opposite side and leaving the tail here, we are going to bring it with us. So we're gonna do 3 double crochets, and we're going to leave the tail up against our circle. So there's 1. 2. 3. Chain 2. And 3 again. 1. 2. 3. Chain 2. And here's our last side. 1. 2 and 3, chain 2, and then I like to connect it to this middle one, the slip stitch. And some people at this point, they like to go into the next stitch and then take their new color and change colors like this. I don't like this way personally because you can see this little knot, and I just think as you continue, let me show you, it kind of makes the square look a little weird where you changed colors.
see where we changed colors right here and it's kind of coming up? Like, I know we can tighten it, but I just don't like this way. So what I do is we crocheted, slip stitch into that middle one, and then we're going to slip stitch into this corner. And then I like to cut the tail off. And bring it through. And then we're going to do the same thing like we did with the circle in the middle. We're going to keep this tail flush with the circle right here. And we're going to kind of weave it in as we go. So here's our slip stitch. Now we're going to connect this and make sure that both tails are over here. This way we're kind of doing what we did before, and we're weaving them both in at the same time. So we're counting that as our first double crochet, second, and then chain 2, and then we're going to do 3 more double crochets, making sure that we are crocheting in the 2 tails. Hi, girl. Now I just clip this off because it's technically weaved in already, and I have never had a problem with it coming apart. And that's how I change color instead of the traditional way. I don't know if this is a common thing that people do, but this is the way I like to do it. So yeah, just wanted to show how I don't use a magic ring because I find them confusing, and I want limited ends to weave in. Obviously the very last one, the very last round, you have to weave that end in because it's your last round, but it's just much more manageable to me and less daunting to make granny squares when I don't have to weave in a bajillion ends. So I hope that is helpful.
Now I'm just going to connect them, and I'm just going to do a slip stitch, but as I go around I will show you.
So I'm going to start, do a slip stitch, and then I'm going to slip stitch up here, and then we're going to bring in the new one and slip stitch here, slip stitch up, you know, just do that kind of pattern going all the way up. And then I will show you how we're gonna just even it out a little bit on the edges, and that's pretty much it for the steering wheel cover.
You're just making a literal line of granny squares into a circle, and I have made a bunch more. I don't know why I keep doing this because I don't even have one on my car. It's too girly for my husband, so I need to put a lot of these up on Etsy. Just sell them for like, you know, 10 bucks or something. Where did they go? I have a handful. I'll show you when I'm finished all the ones that I have and show you how they look on the steering wheel. But let's get into just attaching these. One done. Well, I guess that's technically 2. I forgot to mention, for the steering wheel cover, you need 9 granny squares, and there are 1, 2, 4 rounds. So each color is a round. That is the size that I use. You can obviously do it bigger, or when you do it smaller, because I'm pretty sure this one you order to stretch it quite a bit to get it on the steering wheel. Right.
Here is the steering wheel cover so far. I'm just alternating this lighter green with the darker green, and just wanted to show you how I've been doing it. I mean, I explained that, you know, you slip stitch up and then you slip stitch across. But if you need a more detailed tutorial, here is what I'm doing. So I'm at my corner. This side is my back side. So what I'm doing is I find the V's that are facing up, if you can see them right there, and I'm going to sandwich them together with the other V's towards one another. Now they're sandwiched together, and I'm just going to start slip stitching. So I go in one V on one side and then on the next, and then just slip stitch. Go into one, into the other, and slip stitch. Okay, and then I'm going to unfold it, and we're going to slip stitch up, and then we just have one more square to attach, and we'll obviously circle it around with the good sides facing together, the seams on the outside, and make our last little seam so that it's a circle. Hey. Hi, baby. You're just hanging out with Mom? Yeah. I have connected it into a circle, and now what we're gonna do, you can stop right here if you'd like. Let's flip it back inside the right way. But what I like to do is go around with single crochets, and when I get to this little, can you even see it? Okay, see how it's not really even across? So what I like to do is I go around with single crochets, and then when it goes to this divot, I'll do a couple of double crochets to build it up and try to make it even. And you just kind of eyeball it. So this one is a bit higher, and then I'll want to build this one up. So I'll probably do only double crochets here, and then I'll start doing single crochets again here, some doubles, and it makes it a bit more even. So that's what I'm going to do. I'll show you a few. So I'm just going to do a double crochet into this spot, and then some singles. As you can see, I am not very fast at crocheting. I say that in like all my videos, but I enjoy it, so I do it. And I throw my yarn, which I didn't even know was a thing, but some older ladies at a retirement home, I did a crochet class, and they were very worried about the fact that I throw my yarn, which means I wrap it around with my hand instead of scooping it up. But that's just how I learned, so. All right, we're starting to go down. So I'm going to do some double crochets. And then another single. So now if we look back at it, you can see it's a bit more straight right here. We kind of built it up. It's not going to be perfect, but I like doing this. So we're going to do it around back to here. We're going to do the other side and then sew in the ends, and I will show you the different steering wheel covers that I've made. I brought out the steering wheel cover that we made and my other ones just to show you. Oh my goodness. Oops. Sorry. Just to show you what they look like. And I'm crossing my fingers that 9 squares is enough, which I'm pretty sure it is. I know I should have prefaced that before we all made it together, but okay. And I'm not actually putting one in my car. If I were to, since our car is yellow, I would do this one because it has yellow in it. But my husband would not want to drive the car if it had it. So, all right, this one at least fits. And honestly, if you're going to put it in your car permanently, what I would do probably is
maybe take this and put it together and kind of sew, I know baby, sew this together so then it looks complete. But let's try the other one. All right, here's the one that we made. Oh yeah, this one fits just fine. I think it looks cute. There's definitely enough space to go in here and just do like a whip stitch, but then you can't take it off and wash it or like sanitize your steering wheel, but still very cute. I got a few more. I'm gonna put these up on my Etsy just for like, I don't know, 10 bucks or something. Here's this other one. Yeah, fun little project. Now let's move on to the scarf.
Something from nothing. Life changes, just open the door. One thing certain, I'll always be